Hi, 7th grade. Welcome back from spring break. Hope you had a great week, nice and relaxing, and you're ready to get back into the swing of things for school. Before spring break, we were working through our genetics unit. On Friday, you were asked to finish this document and turn it in. The directions asked you to put all of the answers in a different color, and then with the short answers to put those in complete sentences. I've already gone through all of your things that you've turned in on Google Classroom. You'll notice in Teacher Ease that if you did not turn it in on time, you have received a D. If you did turn it in on time but you did not follow directions, so meaning that you did not use complete sentences or you did not put your answers in a different color, you received a P. And if you turned it in on time and you followed the directions, you received an M. So it's really important that you are following the directions to make sure that you are getting M's as much as possible. This is formative, however, so it won't impact your overall grade, but just to keep track of those of you that are turning them in on time, following directions, things like that. So as we scroll down, earlier in the week you completed this. And this was my example that we did. And then on Friday, you were asked to do the analysis. So the first three, I noticed that most of you did not use complete sentences for that. You just listed. So be sure that you're using complete sentences. So which traits do you have that are dominant? You could say the traits that I have that are dominant were, and then list those, and those will be specific to you. Same thing for recessive. For number 3, which of your traits were governed by incomplete dominance? The only two options are hair texture and inner eye distance. Notice there's 3 different ones, so it could be incomplete dominance, whereas the other ones are either dominant or recessive. So that should have been your answer for incomplete dominance. Number 4 says, if you and a particular classmate shared all the same traits examined in this activity, what traits could you describe to prove your uniqueness? Now, you didn't need to actually talk to anybody in the class, but if somebody had all the same traits, you needed to look at things that make you unique. So maybe you have a unique color eye, or maybe you have a unique hair texture, or your height, or you can do something weird with your lips or your tongue or something like that. So that was unique to you. For number 5, what determines your traits? There are a couple different ways you could go about this. Some of you said alleles, that's perfectly fine. Some of you said genotypes, that's fine too. And then some of you said your traits are from your parents. That's also correct. So all 3 of those. And then number 6, with knowledge of the phenotype of a human, how can a person's genotype be determined? So essentially that's just asking you, how did you figure out your genotype based on your phenotype? So how did you figure out this column right here based on your phenotype? And the way that you did that, if you don't remember, is you looked at your phenotype, so your physical characteristic, and then you saw if it was dominant or recessive. If it was recessive, you knew it was 2 lowercase letters, and if it was dominant, you knew it was capital or capital lowercase. If you wanted to go even more in depth, you could talk about how you could go back to different generations and see, what your parents have, what your grandparents have, things like that. But couldn't be as simple as what you did in this activity. So if you have questions about any of the questions on the analysis, please let me know. Today, what you are going to be asked to do is there's a Google form for you to fill out. Please do that to the best of your ability without looking at your notes. That's kind of going to be a refresher and a kind of a self-quiz to see what you remember from a week ago. Starting tomorrow, we'll move on with our genetics unit. And building upon all of these concepts. So if during the Google form, the Google quiz, if you have questions or things that you're still very confused about, please reach out to me so we can do some extra practice and I can give some more explanation to ensure that you are understanding it. Thanks and have a great day.